freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it on to our children in the bloodstream. The only way they can inherit the freedom we have known is if we fight for it, protect it, defend it, and then hand it to them with the well-taught lessons of how they in their lifetime must do the same. And if you and I don't do this, then you and I may well spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it once was like in America when men were free.
Episode number 311 of Gun Freedom Radio, where we engage, we educate, and we inform. We are brought to you by azfirearmsauctions.com, which is a new name, but a familiar name. As you know, we have just recently transitioned out of the retail firearms business, and we are moving into our already existing sister company, Pot of Gold Auctions, with the AZ Firearms name. And so now we are AZ Firearms Auctions, your nationwide hometown auction where you set the price. I am one of your hosts, Cheryl Todd.
And I'm the other guy, Dan Todd. Our theme today is Defending Freedom Action Summit, and our guest is Tyler Yzaguirre. Tyler is the president and founder of the Second Amendment Institute, a national nonprofit organization that focuses on education, advocacy for the Second Amendment. He's also the nation field director for Students for Self-Defense, a national college program that fights for self-defense rights of college students. Tyler is the organizer of the Defending Freedom Action Summit in Arlington, VA.
Absolutely. Welcome back to the show, Tyler. It's been too long.
It has been. I always love your intros. And Dan, I know words are hard, especially on a Monday.
Words are hard for me every day. You know, I don't have the education like you guys have.
Education. Oh, it's awesome. This is great. So since we last spoke, lots of amazing things and not so amazing things have happened around the nation. And so it's pretty exciting for me that the whole world is starting to get back to whatever normal is, right? And in-person events are starting to come back in fashion. And the Second Amendment Institute has one to announce.
Yeah, it'll be our second annual National Conference Defending Freedom Action Summit in September 25th and 26th in Richmond, Virginia this year. Right in downtown on the water, beautiful area, beautiful venue, and hopefully some beautiful people. So pretty excited for it, and it's coming along quite nicely.
That's so exciting. And your governor there in Virginia just made a fairly sizable announcement for the world we're living in, which we are sitting in the studio on Monday, May 17th of 2021. And so what was the big announcement there in Virginia?
Yeah, King Northam came out and said this Saturday that they're ending the mask requirements and if you're vaccinated, and come next week, he's going to end the indoor capacity restrictions as well. It was quite nice to see our Commandant-in-Chief, Joe Biden, say last week, if you're vaccinated, you don't need to wear a mask anymore. And then magically all Americans became vaccinated overnight, like myself. So it's pretty big news. We'll be able to have a full attendant conference instead of 60 people, 400 people, and with the lineup that we have, that's what I'm expecting.
Oh,
Well, so how are they going to tell if people are vaccinated or not, Tyler? I mean, do you wear a tattoo on your arm, or what do you do?
don't give them any ideas.
Well, I think the people that are asking if you're vaccinated should have armbands, like a certain group in the 1940s. But businesses can't ask if you're vaccinated. And, that's the great thing about the HIPAA laws. And it's kind of not really gun rights related, but, well, it kind of is, because, if you're concealed carrying, they can't ask you if you're concealed carrying either. If someone asked me if, I was vaccinated, I'd ask if, you ask people if you have the flu, or, you don't. So it really helps us out a lot with this conference, and it allows us to have the size of attendees that we want. So I'm pretty excited about it.
Well, I was vaccinated, so was Cheryl. Do you know that we got vaccinated? I did it when I was about 3 years old. I think I was about 3 when I got the polio vaccination.
That's right.
So we're vaccinated. We're set, ready to go.
Right? Vaccinated for what is the different story. But that's the thing is, can you imagine if you walked into a store and somebody said, could you please tell us about your last prostate exam? Or could you please share with us the the results of your last pap smear? I mean, this is private, personal, medical information, and it is nobody's business. And if somebody is vaccinated, then they're good. It doesn't matter if anybody else around them is or is not.
It's kind of crazy. And, the CDC said that, well, first, fascist Fauci was like, oh, the vaccine doesn't work unless everyone's vaccinated. Well, if that's the case, then the vaccination doesn't work, period. So it's just, all I care about is that the governors are starting to let up, because Fauci got caught paying Wuhan labs $300 million, whatever it was. And, New York is still a little bit behind, but every time someone accuses Andrew Cuomo of sexual harassment, he eases up even more. So I'm waiting for the 10th or 11th person to come through. I mean, the guy should be in jail. He killed off 40,000 seniors, but again, not a very gun-friendly state either. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, surprise, surprise. They're all about their control and not about taking any responsibility for the consequences of their actions. And it's just really, we should all look at them as a model for exactly what not to do. And the thing about the
conference, thankfully too, just giving about freedom, about what you can do to defend the Constitution. And that's what our speakers are all about. We have Congressman Pete Sessions from Texas, who's a powerhouse in the GOP. And we have, former U.S. Secretary Ryan Zinke. Y'all are getting like the first dibs on this too, because I haven't really given out my full speaker list. Congressman Madison Cawthorn from North Carolina, and a few other gun packing members of Congress will be there as well, who I can't really say right now, but it's going to be certainly a well-attended event with some powerhouse gun rights speakers.
Absolutely. And that is fun that we kind of got the first glance at that here on Gun Freedom Radio. And you've been working hard putting the event together and bringing the speakers together. And it's going to be a wonderful event. I got to go to the first one, which was actually 2 years ago, because as we were just saying,
last year didn't count.
I know COVID. Did last year even happen? I mean, it's like, birthdays were canceled, weddings were canceled, funerals were canceled.
How do you cancel a funeral? You don't die?
I don't know.
They were doing drive-by funerals for a while.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's crazy. And so we didn't get to have our Defending Freedom Action Summit at a time when we really needed it more than ever. But 2 years ago, we had our first annual. It was tremendous as far as the companies that came out and sponsored. There were several that obviously I knew, but I got to meet new companies because of their involvement in this. And, we've continued to do business with them. And it's just a great opportunity. I think we're still accepting sponsorships even now, are we not?
We are. And all sponsorships, come with certain things. And I'm happy to do custom sponsorships to work within budgets. I say the more the merrier. Of course, we are looking for some presenting sponsors, which is always nice. And you get some pretty good perks this year too. I mean, the top 2 sponsorships, you're going to get a suite at the hotel for the weekend. You're going to get, some luxury transportation, just to sweeten the pot, just to, convince people to, give us your money so we can put on this incredible event.
Absolutely. These things take money, they take time. And, it is always our shop, AZ Firearms, and our brand here, Gun Freedom Radio. We've sponsored several of the things that you've been involved in besides the Defending Freedom Action Summit. And it has been such a win-win because, we know that we're putting our money towards outreach and networking and building community and educating people. And then, the people that show up at these events, they really want to support the companies that they see supporting their values. And so it's been a tremendous thing for us. And I highly recommend it for anybody thinking about being a sponsor.
We'll be there this year, right?
Yeah, we'll definitely be there.
Farms will be there. It's always great having you guys there. I hope Cassie and the kids can make it too. Always nice to have the family there. And we're thinking about doing a mixer dinner Friday night with one of the speakers. And that'll be a separate ticket though. I'm thinking maybe Marjorie Green from Georgia, but we'll see if she'll give her time up for an old friend.
I love it. She is a mover and a shaker right out of the gate. I mean, this is her freshman year, and I think she has gained more press. And why that's important is because the things that she's saying and doing, whether you love it or you don't love it, she is changing conversations. She is impacting conversations, and that's how you become effective. You start people thinking about what is going on in our government, and she has been tremendous at that. She's supposed to be at a speaker event here in Arizona, I think later this week, and I'm hoping I get a chance.
Matt Gates are doing their Freedom Tour right now.
Yeah.
In Florida, and they've got some more coming up.
Absolutely. I met her just briefly during one of our DC Project events a couple of years ago before she even ran for office. And so then to see, what she has done with her time and her energy, and especially her dad had brain cancer this whole last year and just passed away. And I'm thinking all that she dealt with in the political realm, and then to have that family situation going on at the same time. I mean, she is built of the strongest steel, and I really have to admire her. So it'd be great to have her as a speaker. So students being able to protect themselves on college campuses, to people like us, seems like a no-brainer. Most students are adults once they are attending college, and yet they are treated by colleges as children where self-defense is the topic. The Second Amendment Institute is involved in that conversation at the college level across the nation. Talk to us about what that program is.
Right. So Students for Self-Defense, we've been running since 2016, and we recruited a couple thousand students. Like everyone, COVID hurt us a lot just with getting on college campuses and having a voice on college campuses, recruiting students. So come the next semester, once these campuses are easing up on their COVID restrictions, we plan to get back on campuses in full force. And, we go to the colleges, we'll set up a table, be like, hey, if you can carry pepper spray on campus, or do you want to be able to defend yourself on campus? And a lot of these kids, college students, young adults, don't know what the rules are. And a lot of the university policies don't put in there what the rules are. So it's pretty arbitrary. So we like to go on the campus, help them organize, help them end pepper spray bans. We did that up at a college in Boston a few years ago. And that's pretty much what we do, because in order to secure our freedom's future, we have to equip college students with the tools they need and the education required to carry on the flame for freedom for us. I just made that up, flame for freedom. I like that.
I like that too. And it's funny how, it kind of rolls off the tongue when you say college, then the word kids comes out naturally next to college kids. And I think that's been working against us in this particular realm, Because when I went to college, I had already been married several years. I already had a 2-year-old daughter, and I was certainly not a college kid. And most of my classmates were of similar age and similar life experience by that point. And so it really grates against me when I hear people use that argument about, well, you can't have a bunch of crazy college kids running around. Well, wait a minute. First of all, whatever happened to our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, does it just end at the sidewalk? Here in Arizona, on one side of the sidewalk, we have constitutional carry. We don't need anybody's permission to own a gun, carry a gun. And then on the other side of the sidewalk, walk onto ASU or NAU or U of A, and suddenly it's like a different country as far as our rights go, and it really needs to stop.
Do you mean they have crime in colleges?
Go figure.
And they don't have to have police there and stuff? Don't they have their own police?
Colleges are crime-free zones. Come on, Dan, you know that.
I should have known that. But there's a lot of people. What's that?
Just like they're drug-free zones too. You have the drug-free zone to the
right.
work.
So there's a sign, so therefore it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of people that they'd laugh if you told them that they don't allow pepper spray in a college. Well, go ahead.
Sorry. I know. I use the two big phrases. I use the stat that 96% of mass shootings occur in gun-free zones, and I also argue the fact that how does someone who has the right to constitutional carry or a concealed carry license, how are they less responsible once they're on a college campus?
Right.
They're not. If you look at the big wave of concealed carry on campus that started 5-6 years ago, and John Lott actually put out a statistic, I think like last year, of accidental shootings or discharges of firearms on college campuses, of which there were 12, and they were all teachers with accidental fires. Someone shot themselves in the leg when they were in the restroom. Just stupid stuff like that. Not college kids going out partying with their gun. A lot of these states, a lot of the college students in these states, either, they grow up with firearms or it's instilled with them responsible firearm ownership. And that's what we do. Say, if you're going to own a gun, you got to be responsible with it. Don't bring it to a party, which I haven't seen any reports of. Actually, I did see a report of I think it was a DEA agent who was at a party drinking and did a backflip and his firearm discharged. So, I mean, college students, yes. Federal agents, no. Just like, it just goes to show you who are the real responsible adults here.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you have to look at, an accident can happen. The more responsible you are, the less of the chance that's happening. And that shouldn't restrict people from having the right to defend themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Because crime is going to happen whether or not there's a sign that says no crime area,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you put a sign that says no murders in the state of Arizona, when you come in the border, there'll be no murders in the state of Arizona. Well, is that going to stop them?
Some people must think so.
I agree. And you can look up, colleges are required every year to receive federal funding to publish their crime statistics, and note that these crime statistics are only crimes that get processed, not like it's an arrest and release. So, I mean, you look at some of these universities and they got like aggravated assault, they've got rape, they've got, all these, and then some of the numbers are in the hundreds annually for some of the colleges. I know Brown University is pretty high, and that's an Ivy League school. So it just goes to show you that no matter where you are, crime is going to happen, and you have the right to defend yourself and be ready for it.
Right. If I carry a gun, I'm responsible for that. If I have an accidental discharge, I could go to jail for that. I could lose my house. I could lose everything. And there are colleges where people are allowed to carry. Do we see statistics that show that that's a bad thing to do? Or are we seeing that crime actually goes down and that there is not very many reported accidents with the guns?
Well, we know universities are going to, if a student does happen to stop a crime with their, concealed carry firearm, they're not going to report it. You know,
Right.
we barely see crime stopped by, firearms. The FBI doesn't even report it. They just say, incidents with firearms with no charges pressed. And universities are going to do what they can to hide those numbers, hide those statistics, because they don't want people to see that, wow, responsible students carrying firearms actually reduces crime. And that's just the issue that we're faced with. So we go to college campuses, we focus on, what we call, behind the Iron Curtain states, so New Jersey, New York, Maryland, those kind of states that we go in there, we say, look, guns aren't the problem, crime is the problem, criminals are the problem, and once we introduce students to it and they get a feel for it, and they're okay with it. Imagine that.
Yeah. Well, if they don't think they need firearms in the college campuses, then they surely don't need the police departments in the college campuses, because that means there's no crime.
That's an interesting point. And before I start getting a bunch of emails and texts, because you said accidental discharge, is it also known as a negligent discharge, right? Because
Right. It could be either one. I mean, you could have an accident, you could be even the thing is that a responsible gun owner knows that if I discharge my firearm when I'm not wanting to discharge my firearm, it's
negligent.
negligence.
So
it is. It's still an accident,
that's right.
but
because it's your
both.
responsibility.
Right.
I
Because
just
a
know
gun-
that that's a hot button word that
gun-
people are
That's
going
right,
to write about.
negligent discharge. I like that better, negligent discharge.
Yeah.
But when it's a police officer or federal agent, then it's an accident, right?
Yeah.
Not
Yeah,
a,
right.
Right, exactly. And see, that's the thing is we in the Second Amendment community, we take responsibility for ourselves and our actions. And so if you say it's accidental, well, that's like an act of God or something, But if it's negligent, then there's only one
I
person
guess
to
so,
look at.
but I still, it is an accident that is negligent. Okay. But okay, so I mean, for the people that are on the other side listening to us today, I just want you to know, if you take a gun and you load it to the max and you set it on a table and nobody can interact with it and it can't be touched, that gun could never, ever, ever go off by itself.
Even if it has a high capacity
Even if you had two high capacity mags sitting beside each other and a TV showing them how to do it, the gun cannot go off without some kind of interaction.
He speaks the truth, right, Tyler?
Right.
and as much as far left as Seth MacFarlane is, who produces Family Guy and American Dad, there's one clip in American Dad where he's arguing with his liberal daughter, and she goes, guns kill people, and he goes, oh really, guns kill people, puts his loaded gun on the table, go ahead, gun, kill, see, guns don't kill people, people kill people. And
wow, I'm surprised
like,
about that.
That's probably making fun of us, but
Right.
Now they're going to just say the guns don't follow instructions. They don't follow orders. I told you to kill and you didn't do it. So I mean, that's how deep they'll go with that. I mean, if you can even think that a gun could kill somebody
all by itself,
then
it's a
what else can you
phobia. It really is. There's even a word for it, hoplophobia.
Right.
And it's one of the only, until I saw COVID come around, it was the only thing that I ever saw other people try to encourage each other to gain a phobic response towards something. It was guns, and now it's germs. So we have to be, I don't know if we have to be logical people, but it'd be nice if we were logical human beings and thought these things.
The problem is, Tyler, we've interviewed several people that have been in colleges that have become victims that are responsible gun owners that kept their guns at home because they're responsible and they follow the law, that they could have saved themselves. And I'm looking at, if I'm on a school board, I guarantee you my vote would be that we would have responsible gun ownership allowed on campus, because I wouldn't want my daughter or anyone else's daughter not to at least have the right to protect themselves.
Well, Dan, I'm right there with you, and that's why you and I will never be on the school board.
Right.
They'll never elect us.
Never.
But here in Arizona, there's been a big hubbub going on about the critical race theory at one of our local school board meetings. And a friend of mine said that on Facebook, he's like, I'm going to go run for school board next time. He's conservative. And I said, you know what, I'll run too. And that'll ensure that they elect you, because there's no way they're going to let the lady who owns AZ Firearms, come on.
Well, don't get me started on critical race theory. I'm wearing the shirt, so I got to remain impartial while the shirt is on.
That's true. We won't get into that right now. So moving along, the Second Amendment Institute has a powerhouse board of directors, and I myself am so proud to sit
The
and.
first thing too.
Was I one of the first?
You were in the first round. Yeah, we yourself. We have Mosh Torre, who runs Black Guns Matter. We've got Dania Vizzi, who's a 3-time world champion shooter for trap and skeet, and only 26, by the way. It's pretty darn impressive. I can't shoot to save my life.
She is awesome.
We've got newly brought on Jara Hutchins in Texas. We've got George Lyon, who's one of the best gun rights attorneys in the country. And whenever I introduce him as that, he always corrects me and says, in DC. And I'm like, no, we're going to give you country. So it's a good lineup. I know, Cheryl, you were definitely in the first round of invitees, probably back to 2017 now, I think. And, we're going to have some more people coming on soon, looking at some more options to grow our board. And we also have great executive officers as well.
Absolutely.
Tyler, look at me.
Group.
Look at me. You
Yes,
can shoot to save your life. Okay, you said
Okay,
you couldn't
yes,
shoot.
okay.
You can shoot to save your life.
I can
That's
shoot.
true.
That was a bad choice of words. I can shoot to save my life. I can't shoot competitively. That's the difference.
Okay.
Right. And not like our new young board member. I mean, holy moly. She's
Oh,
incredible.
That's awesome.
Danya.
I mean, she does this yoga stuff while shooting her shotgun, and I'm just
Right?
like,
We can't shoot like that.
I can't.
For sure. And I don't remember if you said Beth Walker. Did you mention Beth Walker?
Yeah, Beth Walker's she's our youngest board member, actually. Beth Walker is just a total badass altogether, and
Another competitive shooter.
Another competitive shooter. Yeah, 3-gun, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just, all over the place doing competitions, educating people. A few years ago, I was in her shoes. Now I'm going to be 29 in September, and I look at her, I'm like, that was just a few years ago I was like that. Now I'm getting old, and
Oh, you poor guy, 29.
I feel like my knees when I get up, it's bad. So, but no, Beth Walker's incredible, and she's done a lot to help us, and she's part of also the DC projects, which you are part of as well, Cheryl. And DC Project's probably my favorite gun rights organization besides SAI. No bias there. And she's been great.
She really has. And yes, I do. That is one of the hats I wear, is being state director here in Arizona for the DC project, Women for Gun Rights. We are the counter visual and the counter voice to those moms demand some unnamed action that just wants to disarm everybody. There we are.
Well, I'm giving DC Project a little shout out here. They've got these great 1-pagers. I'm currently making one for SAI because why reinvent the wheel?
Yeah.
And it's how to talk about gun safety and protecting the civil rights of all Americans. It's got some great pointers on here. Pretty sure it's on their website. If not, you can ask Cheryl or ask me.
Absolutely. And the key, the most basic key to that is speak from your own experience, right? And so, you have done such an amazing job of bringing the conversation and keeping the conversation about gun rights for college students, because you started this whole journey when you were in college. Is that right?
Yeah, I did. I started Students for the Second Amendment in college, and I turned 21, bought a gun, didn't go out and get crazy stupid, and then I formed this organization, and we were within the top 5 of registered student organizations. Within one semester, I'd say, with about 120 active members, competing with college Republicans, college Democrats, the Jewish organization on campus. And we brought in Katie Pavlich from Fox News. We had the Leadership Institute help us out a lot. And our big thing that put us on the map was, I went to the university and said, look, I want $700 capital request fund for ammunition, because we teach responsible firearm ownership, and you can't do that without learning how to shoot. No brainer, right? University is like, no way we're giving you the money. So I threatened to sue, and they caved and wrote me a check for $498, not $500, $498. Because big screw you to me.
Right.
And we went to Cabela's with the check, bought $500 worth of ammo, and then went to the machine gun shoot and shot it all off. And that really got me interested in national level advocacy, not just, on college campuses. And from that, graduated and then started the Second Amendment Institute with the help of Chris Hunt, who's one of our directors, and Dick Heller as well from DCV Heller.
Mhm.
So it's been a journey. And we actually have our 5-year anniversary coming up in June, end of June. So we'll be doing something for that too. So stand by on that. I'm trying to figure out who I can get to come out for that.
Absolutely. Well, exciting stuff, always happening, always going on. And I am super looking forward to this year's Defending Freedom Action Summit in Richmond,
What do you call it, Cheryl?
Okay, so it's DFA with an S on the end. And my very much cooler than I am daughter, whenever she would look at the emails I would send her about it, she would call it the DFA. So so then I call Tyler and I'm like, hey, how about the DFA? And I remember, Tyler, you were like, okay, wait, I'm uncomfortable because Cheryl's like my mom and she's saying DFA.
I thought about changing the name, but it'd been too much work. I was like, I got other stuff to do.
I love it, and I love cracking myself up every time I say DFA. So there's that. And that's what we're saying to all the anti-gunners, all the anti-rights people. We're like, DFA.
All the time. So it's double meaning. It works. Makes you think.
I love it. All right. Well, as we start wrapping up, please tell folks how they can follow you and get involved in whatever way they want to with the Defending Freedom Action Summit, whether they want to sponsor, whether they want to attend, all those things.
Okay. I'm going to take anything away from this amazing interview in regards to the conference. Here's your soundbite. DFAsummit.com, right? It's going to be in Richmond, Virginia, September 25th and 26th. You can use code FREEDOM at checkout for 20% off, which will be good until the end of May. It's a pretty darn good price, brings it right below $100 for an incredible 2-day conference. And for the SAI website, it's just sainational.org. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Second Amendment Institute. And we do have a Instagram for Defending Freedom Action Summit, which is just DFA Summit, easy squeezy lemon peasy. So check those out, and that would be greatly appreciated. Get your tickets now because they're going fast.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for all that you do. Thank you for putting this summit together, and I can't wait to see you in September 25th and 26th. Thank you, Tyler.
Thank you so much for having me.
We'll see you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. It's so funny that he asked me about that on the air. That was kind of our little private joke. So, no, that's so great to see someone who is, young like Tyler, and, he's building his career, and he's taken all of this time and all of this energy to help build this Second Amendment Institute and do the work on college campuses. And, there's people that are, already established in their career that have a different level of energy that they have to put into that aren't doing that kind of work. And so I just really admire that.
Where would we be without the Tylers
That's
in
true.
America? I mean,
Yeah, that's
it's just amazing that we have a good group of people out there trying to defend our rights, which we shouldn't have to do.
telling you.
You know,
I mean, what our founders did say two things. It's a
Is
republic.
that all they said was two things?
They said more than two things. You have a republic if you can keep it, right? I believe that was Benjamin Franklin. And the second thing is, well, how are we going to keep it? Eternal vigilance.
Right.
Like no naps. There's no days off. There's no, delegating our authority, which we've done all of those. We've taken days off. We've taken naps. And the other side, they are not. And it shows.
Okay, so this country started out where we're all free and everything's cool. And one of the people, okay, so if you want to live in the pines, what do?
Go
You move
live in-
and live in the pines. You want to live by the beach, what do? You go live by the beach. If you don't want to have a free country, what do? Leave.
Mhm.
The country was founded. This is what it is. This is where you're at. You might have been born here and you don't like it. Well, leave.
Yeah.
Just get it. Because there's a lot of people in this country that like the way the country was and wants to bring it back to what it was.
Well, that was,
We're free.
yeah, that was really an interesting analogy. I'm sitting here thinking, yeah, what if I said I live here in Arizona in a suburb near Phoenix, and I'm like, well, I just really want sea air. I just really want to live by the ocean. And so somebody needs to make that happen for me, right? We need to clear out these neighborhoods and we need to bring in a bunch of sand and we need to figure out how to get the ocean water here, right? No, it's not how it works. That was
No.
a great analogy. I
You
love
just
that.
go there. And there's so many people that are unhappy here. Then why don't you just leave? Because that'll give us more space to make the ones that are happy more happy.
Right. Well, we should do a one-for-one
I
exchange.
mean, we love California. We love to go to California. We love the beach, right? But it's not what we want.
Yeah.
If we wanted it, we would go there and we'd be part of their whatever that is that they do there. But
Socialism.
but we live in Arizona. We're a free state, and we're slowly losing that. But we're going to fight to keep it because it's ours.
So what if we did, I think you said this on another show, one-for-one exchange. So somebody that has, basically risked life and limb,
Yeah.
right, to flee the very things that some people here are trying to vote in and cause to have happen here in America. So somebody that understands the value of freedom
Right.
will trade one of them
Shoot, we'll give you
Or
two of ours for one of yours.
2 for 1. It's a bargain.
Yes.
It's
So
a
we'll
bargain
we'll
week.
start at the top of the chain.
Yeah.
There's some political ones that
Yeah.
really hate America,
Yeah.
and they go as far as way up.
Right? Like you're a Marxist? Awesome. We'll find somebody that came from a Marxist
That doesn't
company,
wanna be Marx, yeah.
country, and there you go. Everybody's happy.
Yeah, you get to go, and you know what?
And you can explore the world and see amazing things that you've never seen before.
Shoot, we'll give you a pair of Levi's and $20 too.
I don't know if we should go that far because, Levi's were
Oh,
probably,
that's right. Oh, they're
capitalism.
Yeah, that's right.
So they wouldn't want that.
But
So-
seriously, I mean, why? I mean, if I didn't like Arizona, what would I do? I would find a way to, I would do just like people that want to come to our country. They find a way to do it. They didn't try to change. They couldn't change it. Mexico, you can't change it. Venezuela, they had it, they lost it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I
And
feel like
they-
we're on the Venezuelan
We
timeline.
are, and if we're not
So
careful, we're the
let's
last
wake
one.
up.
What country has as many rights? What has a constitution like ours? There's not a country out there.
No,
You
and
know,
our government
Mexico-
doesn't give us our rights. That is one of the things that just makes me
Right.
twitch a little bit when I hear people say anything that sounds like our government gives us our
Yeah.
rights.
In Mexico,
No,
they
it
had
does
a
not.
constitution that allowed you to own guns in Mexico.
Mhm.
And now they have taken those away. So the difference between them, they made a constitution based on, well, the government will give you this, the government will give you that. And that was their constitution. Our constitution was built on, we, the people,
Yeah.
will give the government what it needs,
Yeah.
not
It's upside
the
down
opposite.
right now. And look
So-
at Canada. By the stroke of a pen, their ruler decided that, okay, all these kind of guns are illegal.
Yeah.
Stroke of a pen, right? Why? Because they don't have the
The
protections
people don't run. No.
that our God-given rights are delineated as a constitutional and legal legally protected in our Constitution and our Bill of Rights. They don't have that.
So we have a president that could go to Canada and live.
Awesome. Because I bet there's somebody.
Because he doesn't like guns. If you don't like guns,
Yeah.
you can leave.
And Biden is constantly saying things that if you did what he said, you would be breaking the law, right? Like he says, shoot through a door, like you hear a noise.
Shoot in the air.
And then he says, shoot it in the air, go out on the back porch. He said he would tell his wife, go out on the back porch and shoot your firearm up in the air. Well, what happens to things that are shot up in the air?
All that goes up must come down.
That's right. And people have died from those projectiles tumbling back down to earth.
But Biden also said that thing, that thing.
Yeah.
That thing.
The
thing.
thing.
And the
Thing
Constitution
is what
can
he's
be,
talking about.
and the Constitution can be changed.
Oh, he says no amendment is absolute. So I guess, the 19th Amendment, which was the one that secured the right for women to vote. So that's not absolute. So the next time it's time to vote,
Maybe
I guess
women
they
won't be able to vote.
right. Well, they'll probably say, well, how do you intend to vote? And if you intend to vote conservative or Republican, nope, you can't vote. Because why? Because no amendment is absolute. That's probably where that's
And
going.
right now, what is it, the 10th that the state has control? And the state has
States' rights
control,
or the
states'
10th
rights,
Amendment.
and they could change that so that they don't have it anymore, and then they could come in there with a slew of new laws. People, look, if you don't like it here, leave. Just leave.
You sound like a grumpy old man. Get
I
off
am,
my lawn.
I am a grump.
Get off my lawn.
I am
All right,
a
we got to
grumpy
get
man.
out of
Hey,
here.
you know what?
What?
Let's pray for our nation. No, wait. Tyler
Yes.
Yzaguirre.
Yes.
Thank you very much for being on the show with us today. Thank you for that young spirit and getting people involved and getting the younger generation involved, because it does start. As soon as you leave your home, now you have so many more rights that you didn't have on your own, because you're at the rule of your parents. And now you have these rights, and you come into college and they're telling you, no, you don't. Don't let them do that to you. You're an adult now. Listen to Tyler.
Absolutely. Second Amendment Institute. Thank you so much, Tyler, for being our great, awesome guest. Thank you to all of our listeners all across the world. We value you so much, your time.
Even the ones that might not surely agree with us.
Yes,
Especially
definitely the people who take time to listen, who are arguing with us right now in your mind. That's beautiful. That's amazing. And, your time is your most precious resource. And when you spend it with us, we notice it, we value it, it matters. And thank you so much. And even if you do agree with us, this is a jumping off point, right? Don't just gobble down what we say or our subject matter experts say. Use it as a place to go, well, what if, they were wrong about this, or I'm not sure I agree with that. Awesome. That's fantastic. Right. So then go and start doing some research, but be sure you use trustworthy sources.
And have conversations with others.
Resource.
Not arguments, conversations with others.
Absolutely. All right. And if you've missed any portion of this show, you can watch it on video at OpsLens, which is a smartphone app, at YouTube or GunStreamer. And if you want to listen to the audio only version, go to GunFreedomRadio.com, click the On Demand tab, and binge listen to your heart's content.
Darling.
All of the episodes we have there. All right, gang, thank you so much. Until next time, we are going to pray for this nation.
Pray for our leaders.
You said it. You said leaders. People in leadership positions. Let's pray for them. How about the ones we don't like?
Yeah.
Even them?
I said leaders.
Maybe even especially for the ones we don't like.
I can't believe I said leaders.
Oh my goodness. All right, everybody. Be good to each other. Have a great week.
Bye-bye.
God bless.
Bye-bye.